Living Outrageously podcast. This is the podcast where we teach you how to stop living a boring life and start living outrageously. My name is Dave Thompson. That is Matt Kelly. And this is the podcast where we teach you the psychology of success. So that if you are staring down the barrel of a job for 40 plus years and you know you don't want to do that, this is the place to be, because we teach you that impossible is an opinion and living outrageously is there for people who want to step up and take it. Matt Kelly, Matt freaking Kelly, he's the man that has 3 hell yeahs with every coffee. How you doing, brother? What's news?
I am doing very, very well, Dave. Today is, we said it last time, I'm saying it again, it's a turning point. It's a huge turning point. This is going to be really, really big because, dare I say, this one single reason that our viewers haven't taken action on their lives yet will be destroyed today. Annihilated. Samurai sword, swipe, the sloth will be dead.
Sloth, done and dusted sloth. And can I just, that's a good point. I love it that you bring up the sloth so early, because you know I like talking about him, because he is a little, I was going to drop a really bad swear there, but I'm not going to.
Ooh.
The sloth, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the sloth.
Yep. Do it. Do it now. Do it.
He is here with us. He's always here with us. In fact, he could be sitting on your shoulder on the right side. He could be sitting on the left side. He could be hovering above you. He could be in front of your face.
Yep.
He is there. And I think it's important that we acknowledge the sloth and then we pull out our samurai sword. I wish I had one here. And then you get the sloth.
Because there's different degrees of sloth, and that's why I actually really like that little analogy you did, because he can be sitting right in front of you and it can be really, really obvious. You know that he's there and you know he has to leave right now. But it's in the same way, he could be sitting behind you, following you, and just have a small influence, a niggling influence, that it's hard to shake that. So sometimes he's really obvious and you're like, I don't care about anything, I'm depressed, I'm angry, I'm upset, and I'm going to do whatever's easy. Other times, you've got options. You could do it the easy way, or you could, jump through a few hoops and do it the hard way and achieve far more. That's different degrees of the sloth talking. So
absolutely.
It's interesting.
Absolutely. It is. But more on the sloth later. Let's just have a quick talk about how much fun this freaking podcast is. Man, we've been live for like 84 hours and we already have over 100 viewers. Dude, I'm losing my mind. This is insane. We could not have hoped for this.
I'm very excited about the view count. So YouTube's lagging behind. We've gone to blip.tv and they've done the distribution of the video and we're starting to see a few hits. So that's good. It's an early start, but we're going to pick up the pace and things are changing rapidly.
Mate, we are starting to become everywhere. We're YouTube, we're Facebook, we got a blog, we're on Blip TV, we're on AOL Video, man. How the hell did we get on there? We're going to be on TiVo by the end of this week. TiVo!
Yep. Stay tuned for the iTunes link as well. We're going to...
man, iTunes.
We're going to set up the iTunes. We're going to be on there so you can go and subscribe to the podcast directly out of iTunes and get the most recent episode every single time you plug in your iPhone. That is exciting.
Dude, I am really pumped because it's been sort of a life dream to be on TiVo ever since I saw that movie Tropic Thunder. You know that
Very good. I know exactly what you're referring to.
In the middle of the jungle, and he's like, "Get me a freaking TiVo. That was part of the deal. I want my TiVo." And then it's like manager helicopters it into the middle of the Vietnam jungle.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. He will be able to watch us because we will be on TiVo.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. All right, let's get down to business.
One thing before we go to business.
Yes.
At least 100 of you have viewed our podcast, right?
Yeah.
100. Now, we still only have 3 Facebook page likes, which is very exciting. 3's better than 0, and we're on Facebook.
Yes.
But we need your support. We need you to come in and tell us to keep going and tell us what you want, because that's what we're going to give you. So come onto Facebook. Just search for Living Outrageously in Facebook. Look under pages. You'll find us there. And we will certainly be blowing that right out soon. But it's exciting. We've got some customization built in. We've got an episode index now listed. We're going through the landing page process. It's all on. All we need is you to come and join the party.
That's right. It's all happening. The party is set. The buffet is out. And you know what else? What's that super special bonus if people like the Living Outrageously page?
Now, there's a top secret bonus here, and you will only experience it after you've liked the page.
Yes.
You want to make your friends jealous. You want your friends to know that you were the cool guy or the cool girl. Oh, man, I need to go catch up with Matt Kelly again. Why is that? Because in my Facebook newsfeed, it literally says, Matt Kelly likes living outrageously. Forget about the Facebook page. You do like living outrageously anyway. So go and like that page. That is important.
It is, because once you see it on the screen, again, we talked about it last time, that RAS thing in your brain, it switches on, and it's like, woo!
Visualization.
Straight for that living outrageously target. And you know what? You could wake up tomorrow and your life is 10 times more outrageous than today. So that's what it's all about. And all just from one Facebook like.
That's it. It's a very, very cheap price to pay for an outrageous life.
That's right. That's right. Just merely 1 second of your time.
That's it.
Maybe 2 if you've got a slow web browser. Anyway, Matt Kelly, should we get down to business? Are you ready?
Let's do it. I'm totally ready. I'm totally ready. This is exciting.
Right.
I've been wanting to talk about this. It's game on. Let's go.
Okay. So all those people out there, there's so many people that I know that have big dreams, big plans. They're like, well, I have this business idea. I really want to do this. I really want to have a beach house. I really want to travel the world.
Nice car.
Yeah. I really want to do all these things. If we would project 40 years into the future, what stops people from taking the first step?
The fear.
Amen.
The fear. The fear is what stops them. There's too much risk. This is what we hear. I can't do that. What happens if I fail?
Exactly.
What happens if you succeed is my question.
And, mate, what a reframe. We've just turned that shit upside down. What if I succeed? So, all right. The fear stops people from taking even the first step, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So what types of fear, like, I experience, as I go through life, I experience people that they experience different types of fear. So, obviously, there's a big one, the fear of failure, isn't there?
Oh, fear of failure is probably one of the most evident fears because you know that everyone's got an idea, everyone's got a thought, everyone's got a plan. What stops them? What the single thing that stops them in so many cases is, yeah, but if it doesn't work, then what? Then I'm going to get upset, depressed, I'm not going to try again. You know, you go through this downward spiral and it's not healthy. Because you know what you want to do, you know that's your goal, and I'm not talking about quitting your job and doing something crazy. I'm talking about reaching out and starting your own website. I'm talking about reaching out and going, oh, I want to save for that, so I'm going to start saving. What happens if I don't save enough in time? What happens if you do?
Man, a lot of people come to me and they're like, Dave, I've heard about this internet thing, this interweb thing, and there's so much opportunity there. And maybe they've read a book. Maybe they've read Vaynerchuk, Crush It, and if you haven't, go and do it immediately. It'll be the best $12 you've ever spent in your life.
It is a very good book.
It is a very good book. Maybe they've read Vaynerchuk, maybe they've read Seth Godin, anyway, they've got an idea, and they want to take it out onto the paddock. But they never do start because they fear that they won't be good enough.
Yeah, that's right.
That their website won't be good enough. Isn't that just the big one?
Well, and this is a frustrating one because you only need to kickstart that presence and then iterate on that. And go for version 1.0, forget about it. Take it, go, I'm going to start with this, I'm going to run with it for a while, and as I improve, as I learn, as I get better, I'm going to grow that. Don't worry about launching with the single best website imaginable. Just get your presence up. That's all you need to do is to start with. And that website example is crucial because it's so easy to go and get something basic live. You can basically do it for free.
Well, look at us, man. Look at us with this podcast.
I mean, realistically, the costs associated, we've got some gear, but I had that anyway, as did you. You've got an internet connection. You can go into WordPress and start a free blog in 10 seconds. Why not just run with it? Why not? What's stopping you? I would argue that the only thing stopping you is it's going to be hard and we have to spend time doing it. And what if it doesn't work? Then I've wasted everything.
So that brings up a very good question, a very good point, Matt Kelly. And what if it doesn't work? If that's the question that you're constantly asking yourself, if you're just looping that like 50 billion times a day,
absolutely,
what sort of state is that going to put you in? You're just going to be...
It's so... That is depressing. That is absolutely depressing. If you're constantly thinking about what could go wrong, what isn't going to work, what can't I control? All these questions that don't help you advance any further with your plans. They're just limiting every single step that you try to go through. If you've got that mindset and you are trying to start a business, every single hurdle is going to feel like you're trying to climb Everest. Every single one. But if you go, I've got to do these 5 steps. Cool, that one was easy, that one was easy, that one's hard. Okay, what's the easiest way to do that? Cool, done, 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 done. Easy. But if you think about the failure and the risk and how hard it's going to be, it's really easy to blow it out of proportion and get anxious, scared, and not do it.
Absolutely. Do you want to see something funny?
Do it. Show me something funny. Nice. The double glasses.
Was that funny or was that just stupid?
No, that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. Yeah, yeah. You need to do it with some music. Music going in the dance moves would have improved it. That was cool.
All right. Let's try that again. Hold on.
Here we go. There you go. That was better.
All right. Bit of light humour there. All right.
Excellent.
So we're uncovering a few Jedi mind tricks here, aren't we, Matt? So first of all, we're reframing the way that we think about things. All right.
Absolutely.
We're focusing in on all the positive aspects of the thing that we're doing. Right. Reframing. It's so simple, but it's very easy. It's very easy to do. It's like, well, all right. This event has happened. What meaning can I give to that event? I'm going to choose a positive one. The second Jedi mind trick that we've got there is the question that we're asking ourselves. And I loved yours. A lot of people that want to go out and do their own thing, they'll be saying, what if I fail? And your question was, what if I succeed?
Absolutely. How
awesome's that?
If you succeed to the point, and talk about visualization, knowing what you want is already getting you on that path to know. And everyone has that dream. If I won lotto, I would do this, right? Not if you won lotto. You will make the money that you need or that you require to do that. You've just got to make that decision, commit to it, document what you want, and forget about the fear. Forget about what happens if you don't. Because if you reach at that level, at this height here, and you're down here, and you're working your way up and you're getting close, and just say you stop there and you can't go any higher, that gap that you've already filled as a result of having that goal is massive. It is absolutely massive. So forget about whether you fail. You can only go up. Minimize the risks associated, but don't think about them. Forget about them. Make smart decisions and run with it.
That's it. You've got to start. And I always remember a quote. The founder of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman. Reid Hoffman. He said that when you look back on your version 1.0, you should be embarrassed by it.
He continued on to say something like, if you are not embarrassed by the first iteration of your product, the first version, the one you launched with, then you waited too long to launch it.
Yes.
Now, I love that, because what he's saying is, if you've got the most polished, unbelievable, fantastic website, you spent too much time on the website development, too much money on it, and not enough on marketing and the thought process and the growth and all that. The website itself doesn't change that. The website itself, sure, it looks nice, it's good to have, and you want to have it relatively professional, but push on forward and make all the other smart decisions and get going faster. It's easy. And that's what Reid has done that multiple times, and he's now a massive, massive angel investor. So, man, take the advice from someone who knows.
Yeah, he's a big dog.
Absolutely.
He's a big dog.
I can go a step further. I was reading a quote by Henry Ford recently, and he came out and said, it was something to the effect of that failure is only an opportunity to more intelligently begin again.
Outstanding.
Now, you don't want to focus on the failure. However, the point is, if you do something and you fail, you know what you did to fail. You know what went wrong.
Yes.
So it's really easy to start again and not do that exactly what you did that made you fail.
Exactly. Who's the guy that made the light bulb?
Edison, wasn't it?
Edison. Didn't he say that he found 999 ways not to make a light bulb, and then he found the way?
That's it. Process of elimination right there.
Exactly. What about Walt Disney? Didn't he go to like 7 billion different banks to try and get funding?
It's the same.
And then he
Yep.
He finally found a way to ask the bank in a way that they would respond and actually give him money.
It's exactly the same with Colonel Sanders, KFC. Went through the same process with his fried chicken recipe. No one was interested, and I can't remember the exact number, but it was some huge number of places that he went and pitched the idea to and pitched the food to before it got picked up.
What about Sly Stallone? Didn't he write the script for Rocky and he took it to like 45 different movie producer studios saying, hey, I've got this and it's awesome and I want to make a movie about it, and they're like, nah, you're shit, you're a nobody. You're a nobody, you're a nobody. And then he just kept going and going and going and going and going, and then he found the way.
And look at him now. So the process he went through, imagine how disheartening that was. Getting rejected once is disheartening. I've got friends that go to a job interview, get rejected, and don't apply for another job for 3 months because of the depression they get through from one rejected job offer, from one job interview. Man, he's gone through and gone to all these production studios, had his personal idea, his baby, the thing that he's come up with, literally. It's the same as them holding a match to it and going, no, watch it burn, I don't care. That's what they're doing. And he's gone, no, I believe in this idea. I'm going to go and do it differently. Done. Deal, signed. And now, look at him, he's huge. He's a rock star. So
he's a big dog. But you know what? A rock star, those are the rewards that are out there for people that want to live outrageously, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's the life that we're pitching right now.
You can be a rock star, but you've got to want it so bad, don't you? You've got to go after it and 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 just go after it.
For sure. You've got to know what you're looking for. And to bring it all back to that fear of what if I don't succeed? What if what I want can't happen? What if I fail? My family are telling me not to. My friends are telling me not to because they don't understand. And I know they don't understand, but I'm going to trust them and listen to them because they're my family. Sorry. If you know you've got a good idea, if you know you're onto it, don't let that fear get in stop of you. Forget about failure. Forget about not being good enough. If you came up with the idea, you're already good enough. You know what you want. So just take that first step, and the second step will follow. The third step, with this podcast we're recording right now, it hasn't been easy. It's been a lot of fun, and therefore we've gone, let's do that. We've had to commit to it. We've had to go and build this site. We've had to do these things. But you know what? After you've accomplished that first step, how easy is it to fish up that inspiration, motivation to push forward with the next one? You don't want to stop and fail. I don't want to fail. Are you kidding? I'm not going to fail with this. I'm going to keep going. This is going to be big.
No freaking way.
We want, people need to hear this message, and we want to put it out there. So we can't fail. We it's simply not an option.
It's not an option. It's not within the realms of possibilities.
That's right. And that's where that fear of failure in us with the goal of this podcast just can't exist. We aren't going to fail. And if there's challenges, we'll get through them in the most efficient way possible.
With a samurai sword.
Well, there you go. That's certainly efficient. Yeah, that's it. That is certainly efficient.
Because you know what? The sloth comes up every time, doesn't he? Like this morning, man, I worked like 16 hours yesterday, right? I was rooted this morning. And I got up and I was like, you know what? I could really do with a big sleep in.
Yeah.
But I was like, no. That would be giving in to the sloth. The sloth wants me to sleep in.
No, we've got things to do. You can't sleep in.
We got people to help.
We got stuff to talk about. We've got plans. We got outrageousness to live.
That's right.
Why do you want to sleep through that? Really? No. The sloth might want you to.
The sloth wanted me to. He was like, sleep.
That's it.
He's like, sleep.
Yeah.
And I was like,
no.
Yeah. No.
That's it.
All right, Matt Kelly, can I show you is it okay if I share with everyone a really awesome little Jedi mind trick for dealing with the fear?
Please do.
Okay, so just before we were talking about where the fear pops up, weren't we? We were like, it could pop up here, or here, or here, or in front, or underneath, or wherever it is. So if there's people on the podcast, I'd like them just to do a little exercise now, okay? Now, imagine that you're in a state of intense fear, right? You want to start some sort of project, you want to do something, but you're really scared, okay? You're like, oh, what if this goes wrong? What if I don't know how to do a website. I'm not good at public speaking. I can't write copy. I'm not good at marketing. I don't even know my product. I'm not good, not good, not good. And you're running all this. And really get yourself in a state where you're like, oh, I just can't do anything. I just can't do anything. All right? So I want you to close your eyes. I want people on the podcast to close their eyes and think of all these thoughts. I'm not good enough. Where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? And I want you to notice where that voice is speaking to you from. Is that voice speaking to you from the bottom right, from the bottom left? Is he front and center? Is he slightly to one side? Is he directly to the left or directly to the right? Or at the back corner? Where's he coming from? He's coming from there. All right, that's where your fear's coming from, Matt Kelly?
That's where I felt it.
So that would be your top left.
That's it.
In the cranial lobe.
That's it, right there, right there.
All right, good. Yep. All right, so
it's quite a difficult. You've got to be quite focused to be able to work this out.
You do.
Once you've done it once or twice, you can you can feel it, because it's just that message that comes in, and all you've got to do is think about where it hits first, and you've got it.
Okay, so it keeps going. That's part one of the Jedi mind trick.
Let's do it.
All right. So the fear for you is coming in this way. All right. So just close your eyes again. Close your eyes again. Think about, get in a really fearful state. You're like, shit, this isn't going to work. It's not going to work. I can't do it. I'm not good enough. People aren't going to like me if I do this. Is that voice actually inside your brain, or is it coming from outside, projecting onto you?
No, it's coming from the outside.
Okay, so that voice is outside. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to wrap that voice in a little ball. Use your hand to wrap that voice in a ball.
All right. I've got it.
Okay,
yep.
Okay, you've got him.
Yep.
All right, so just leave him there. Wrap him up and leave him there. Now what I want you to do, over to your side, I want you to draw a little circle with your hand. Little circle with your hand. Okay. You're digging a hole, all right? Okay. You're digging a hole to China. You're digging a hole to China. All right? Now, I want you to close your eyes again. Close your eyes again. Get really scared. Remember, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. You don't know marketing. You don't know website. People are going to laugh at you. Take the voice. Take the voice. Grab the voice. Grab the voice. You know where the hole is. Now throw the voice into China. Throw him down the hole. Throw him down the hole. No, throw him down the hole. Dig him down the hole. Take him to China.
He's down. He's down.
He's down.
He's down. He's down. He fell. He fell. That was a big hole. That was a big hole.
It was all the way to China.
That was it.
Where's your fear now?
A long way down. I don't even feel that. I don't even feel that. It's gone. It's gone. It's nowhere near me.
So we just removed the fear.
That's it. Absolutely.
All day, baby. All day. And man, it's that easy.
This is that whole point where know where something is coming from. So be really, really self-aware. Get that clarity that we talked about in episode 1. When you've got that clarity and you know what you're trying to do and you know what you're trying to achieve, you can feel that. You know, I genuinely believe that is where I feel it coming into. And this isn't just theatrics for the sake of theatrics. When you really concentrate on a message, you can feel it. You can feel the power coming into you from some point. Every thought comes into your brain from one perspective. So it's not like it's just popped up in the middle and you're thinking about it. Psychologically, you do feel it enter. You do feel it, and you can choose to make that decision, to know where it's coming, to take it, and to just push it away. It's so easy to do that.
Exactly.
You're basically just putting a barrier between yourself and that thought, and preventing that thought from coming back. And
I love that, Matt Kelly, because that's another point. People are not their emotions.
That's it.
If you think about yourself as being separate to emotions, that is so powerful. So powerful. Think about a time when you're overwhelmed and you feel like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. You hear people saying that. I've just got the weight of the weight of the world on my shoulders. All right. What if you just picked up the weight and just went,
I'm going to move this way. So say goodbye. Say goodbye. Lift it up. Drop it. Cut it. It's gone.
Doesn't that feel good?
It's one psychological step that when you're actually empowering yourself to make that decision, you're not allowing that thought to scare you, to frighten you, to put you off. You're simply saying, I don't need to deal with this. This is not something I care about. This is not something I want to think about. So I'm going to remove it. And that basic exercise, that psychological process, is enough to really change your mindset and change the way you deal with that situation. If at work, you go into the office and you get yelled at and you get upset, you're choosing to get upset about that instead of saying, wow.
I want to live outrageously.
That's it. And the boss comes in, is yelling at you, and you're like, man, this sucks. I feel bad. I hate getting yelled at. It's the worst feeling in the world. Agreed. No one likes that. But if you just say, wow, okay, learning experience, won't do that again. I've now learnt about my boss. I now know how they deal with that. That's fine. I won't do that again. Done. I don't need to be upset about it for a week or longer.
Hell no.
I don't need to. Don't stew on it. You've now learnt a lesson as a result of that, and you can take that away and go, wow, cool. I now know that, and that's something that I will do differently next time. It goes back to that failure is the only opportunity to more intelligently begin a task again.
Absolutely.
So without going through this exercise, you don't know where the thought comes from, and therefore you can't do anything about it when it hits you. You just sit there and ponder and stew and whatever. Remove the emotion, remove the thought. It's a powerful thing to do.
Absolutely. And now, Matt Kelly, how does it, like, doesn't that just open up great possibilities for people? If you can take a thought that you don't like and just go, right, it's in a ball and there's the hole and now it's in China.
So
my problems are in China and now I choose to live outrageously.
And let's flip that. So can you then, as a result of that, decide what emotion you want to have and channel what you want to channel? Absolutely.
Why not?
Exactly the same principle.
Why not?
It's so simple. It's so simple.
How cool is that? How cool is that? That is awesome. That is, man, I love that.
It's good.
It's such a cool little trick, hey?
It's a very high quality, like, sort of process to go through to help you really get clarity around your emotions and why you feel a certain way about something when it happens. This is particularly powerful, in my opinion, when you're really upset about something, when you're really offended by something, when someone says something you don't like. You don't have to approve of it, but it's really good to then close your eyes and really, really think about it. You will feel a point in your head where that message is strongest, when you actually concentrate on it, when you concentrate on where is this coming from, and when you know where it's coming from, it's really easy to go, remove. Just remove. And it's not gonna, you're not gonna necessarily remove it all the first time, but when you go through this process once or twice, it's so easy to just cut that emotion out completely.
Exactly.
And not get upset when these things happen.
Because what is that negative, disempowering emotion? That's the sloth, isn't it?
That's it. That's absolutely the sloth.
That is the sloth. And he wants you to think that he owns you.
For sure.
When you're feeling bad, when you're fearing that you can't do something, that's the sloth talking.
Yeah.
That's the sloth. He's like grabbed onto your head. So, for example, maybe we should have used, instead of cupping him in a ball, we should have used the sloth like this and like...
Nice. Sucking and absorbing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you just sort of like chucked him off, samurai'd him, and then threw him to China.
That's it.
And like, look at you now. Look at you smiling.
Oh,
man.
I know. No, I know. Because I know it's a simple mindset. It's a very basic thing to go, where's it coming from? Get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Awesome. Literally visualize it, remove it, it's gone.
Awesome.
It's a technique, and we should probably mention, this is a technique that a lot of like high-profile professional coaches use when dealing with clients.
Absolutely.
This is not something that we're making up. It's not something silly. It is a legitimate thought process that people take their clients through to help them remove the fear when they're going through depression or anything else.
Absolutely. And what about, a prime example is in the sporting arena, when an athlete makes a mistake and they stew over it. You know how, I don't know, if you're playing rugby and you drop the ball, some athletes would be like, oh, I dropped it, I let the team down, blah, blah, blah. It just runs in their head, and then their game suffers as a result. If that athlete has been with a professional coach who showed them some of these psychology of success, Jedi mind tricks, that athlete, and I've seen this on some professional athletes, they'll drop the ball and they'll hit themselves. They'll just go, boom. They'll like tap themselves and then they'll throw the mistake away. It's like, right, mistake happened, now I'm throwing it away. This shit works, man. This shit works.
It's a very common thought process and technique to use when going, we know where it's coming from, we know what it's doing, we know you don't want it, and we know it's not healthy, so remove it. And the tap is saying, that was it, I know it's there, gone, removed.
Yeah, it's like sloth. Bam! I just crushed your spine. Wah! Wah! Wah!
Gone. Simple. Simple.
How cool is that? How cool is that? Man, this is awesome. This is awesome. So, all right, I want to talk about fear setting.
Interesting.
Fear setting. You've heard of goal setting? This is fear setting. So, there's people out there who want to do crazy shit, or whatever crazy is for them. They want to build something. They want to build their own life, but they're fearful. So, we want to do an exercise where we work out exactly what could go wrong. What is the absolute worst case scenario if you choose to do the thing that you want to do, such as start a business?
What is the worst thing that can happen?
Absolutely. What is the worst thing that could happen?
So I quit my job. I no longer have my job. Something goes wrong. My money supplies start to diminish. I might not be able to have the maintained lifestyle that I previously had. That's probably the worst thing when starting a business.
So if you really need money, what could you do, Matt Kelly?
There's so many things you could do.
If
you've got a house, you can rent out a room.
I see a big ass TV over your right shoulder that you could probably.
Man, I don't need that. I've got a computer. I don't even watch that. I don't even know why that's there. like who uses an iPad? No one uses an iPad. Get rid of it. The point is, you could go and get a job that only occupies a couple of hours of your life, say per day, a couple of hours per day, so you've still opened up all that time to focus on what you need to focus on. Do those things, rent out a room, help people out. You know, you might go and do, if you're really skilled, you might do a little bit of freelancing in the hours that you want to do it. So if you're the web designer, if you're the programmer, if you're the graphic designer, it's so easy to go and just do a few hours here and there to keep the money supply up, keep that little bit of security there, but still be able to focus on the dream. You can
exactly.
We can, given when you're placed in those circumstances, it's really easy to say, what do I actually need to maintain my lifestyle? I need food. I need shelter. They're the crucial things.
If you have food and shelter, you're pretty sweet, aren't you?
And a solid internet connection, I would argue.
That would help. That would help.
You can do that at McDonald's. Free Wi-Fi.
You can.
So as far as I'm concerned, there's those couple of basic things you can do, and everyone. If you're living in a house right now, look around you. There's opportunities to make cash wherever you are.
Everywhere.
It's it.
Absolutely everywhere.
It's not too difficult when you actually think through that process. So suddenly that risk of, I want to start that business, but if it fails, I can't make my mortgage repayments, blah, 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 blah. I might be a year from making any money. That's fine. Work with what's around you to save up that money, to make that money, to pay the minimum repayment, because you know life's going to be very different as soon as you launch.
Absolutely.
You know that. Because you've already eliminated the failure.
Let's have a think, Matt Kelly. So, all right, there's people out there that want to start, perhaps they know that there's big opportunities on the internet. They want to start an internet business of some sort. So really, how much is that going to cost them? Website, free. Hosting, maybe $80 a year. Domain name, $10 a year.
Up to $10 a year.
Up to $10 a year.
You might want to go and register your business name and your ABN. What, $100? Couple $100?
Exactly. But, well, what do they call it in the States? LLC. Anyway, whatever it is.
Look it up. Google's your friend.
That's it. Whatever it is. You can get started for, seriously, if I had $1,000, I could totally start a business. Easily, man. We've started this business, this podcast, for like $200 or something. So what's the worst?
At most.
What's the worst that could happen if this fails? Well, we've blown $200. We've had some fun talking to each other. We've learnt how to podcast, and we've invested some time. So we probably would have been just wasting our time anyway. So
worst case scenario, we've spent $200 and we've had fun.
Oh shit!
Damn, that really sucks. I can go karting today and have fun for a couple of hours and blow $100. But we're building something. We're building something real that we can grow and work with, and this is going to be big, and we know that. Wow, what a pity! What a pity! I spent money doing something I enjoy.
Like, what did you spend money on? Like a lot of people out there, what probably last night they probably spent $200 down at the local nightclub.
You went out, you had dinner, you went to the clubs, you shouted all your mates' drinks, you got a cab home. That's $200 without any trouble at all. Do a couple of rounds of drinks and you've already blown it.
So, all right. So if we're going to rate this fear on a scale of 0 to 10, absolute worst case, we're really only talking about a temporary 3 or 4, aren't we?
At most.
At most.
At most.
At most. Like, all right, say you gather up a bit of cash, like maybe 10 grand to start something, right? If you blow that and it all goes to shit, well, you can recover from that. Man, you could take a job bartending. You could, man, there are just so many ways to make cash out.
We're talking about bootstrapping here and that whole lean startup mentality where we start slow, or maybe not slow, we start fast, but we don't go for the massive growth, the massive expense initially. We build up the customer base based on what we've got, so that as the more revenue you're bringing in, the more you're growing the business, the more you're growing your product offering, your service offering. Start with a basic model and build out as the customers move in. And that's how some very successful companies are growing right now. You can do it without going and getting millions of dollars worth of venture capital. You can do that.
You only need a few bucks. The internet is seriously the best thing in the world because people can start stuff for free.
Absolutely.
You know, I always tell the story of this guy in New York City, in Manhattan. He loved street food, right? He absolutely loved street food. You know, like little like peanuts and hot dogs and stuff. He loved that. So what he did, he started a blog and a food cart review website. So he'd take his little camera and he'd go down to the carts and he'd interview the guys that were selling the food, and he'd like say, "Oh yeah, I've got this show and I review the food." And so he's like eating a hot dog and he's like, Bob's Dogs on 42nd and 1st. Yeah, they got really good mustard sauce.
Yeah.
He makes 70 grand a year off his website reviewing hot dogs in a 2-block radius in Manhattan.
Wow, tough life, hey, because I bet he hates doing that. Yeah, what a horrible life, having to go outside with your camera and eat food.
Hot dogs.
For a few minutes. Man, what a tough, horrible life he leads. That sounds like so much risk, Dave. That sounds so dangerous. No! Throw that away. This is easy.
What's the massive upside there? What if you had to rate the upside? So we've rated the downside at like about a 3, a temporary 3.
At most.
At most. What's the upside?
The upside there is he has a fun life, he makes outrageous money, and he does what he wants. That's a 9. Maybe a 10.
Mate, that is a 10.
What?
70 grand. There's 70 grand to eat hot dogs.
It's pretty easy sell.
When in the history of the world could you do that?
Oh, never in the past. Never. There's never been an opportunity to do what he's doing pre-internet.
Absolutely.
He could have done it in a magazine, maybe. Would he have made that much money? No, not a chance in the world. You cannot do that with traditional media. There isn't a way of doing it. Not with the expense that he went through. He literally started with his laptop and a camera. Everyone has a computer and a camera. So what's stopping you from doing something? Take inspiration from that story.
Like, he was just a dude, and now his life has changed.
Yeah.
Because he took the fear, he took the sloth, he samurai'd it, and then he threw it away, and he chose to live outrageously.
So, for the viewers here, think about your local area, right? You live in a small community, just say, and you've got a few good food stores around. Not a lot. That's fine. Go in there and try a different dish each day. Review the dish. As if your local community aren't going to be compelled and engaged by what you're saying about that dish. But especially people who know you, because when they know you, they trust you. So it's really easy to go, wow, I went to the local Thai restaurant and they've got an amazing red curry. I got double beef. Awesome. Awesome.
Can I get extra vegetables with that?
That's it. Dave, anything is possible. Reality is, it's so simple to do these things. The expense in starting up something like that is next to nothing. You're going to have fun doing it, and if you make money, you're living the dream.
You will make money, though. You will make money. So,
yep.
All right. I'm pretty happy, Matt Kelly. I think we've shared a lot today.
We've gone through two massive concepts, and that's the fear of failure, the fear of not being good enough. And remember, the only way to bust that fear is to change your focus, and that's that exercise we used to say, where's it coming from? Get rid of it. I'm going to decide what I think about. So that's the fear conversation.
Lovely.
We've gone through the basics of the business concept. Using the internet is your friend. Google is your friend. There is no reason to sit there and make excuses for not doing something when you're given the tools that you've got right now. There's just no excuse. You can start at night. If you really need that day job, start at night and build it. In one night, you'll have your website live. The next night, you'll have your social media profiles built. All you've got to do is drum up the content and you're going. You're rolling.
And by the way, for people out there that aren't aware, if you don't know this techie stuff, you can go to elance.com or odesk.com and get a college-trained Filipino or Indian to do all this stuff for you for about $5 an hour.
Yeah. And it's only a couple of hours worth of work.
Do you have $20 to spare to get launched?
Man, Dave, everyone has $20 to spare to launch their dream product. If it's your dream product and you're not willing to spend $20 on it, I'm sorry, but you are not the target for this podcast.
Yeah.
Because the people that we're talking to right now are the people who really know they have that dream. They know it's there. And if they don't have it yet, they're going to get it pretty soon. But especially if they're looking up people like Gary Vaynerchuk, who teaches you how to find your passion and really reach and make things happen to achieve that goal. So if you know that, if you're listening to that, if you're reading that, you've got those ideas already in your head.
Absolutely.
It's a great time to be building a business.
Mate, it is a sensational time. Like, this is the best time in history. It certainly is. It certainly is. All right. That's business. All done. Do we have some quick tips?
We have some quick tips. Would you like to go first, Dave, or should I?
I forget what my quick tip was.
I'll go first. You think about your quick
first.
tip. So my quick tip is a little bit of an exercise that I want to go through. I want you right now to pick up a sheet of paper, a blank sheet of paper, and draw on it a face. Just a basic face. There you go. Dave's drawing a basic face. Now, that is a face. Anyone who looks at that will go, yep, that's a face. If an artist saw that, would they say it was an amazing face? Probably not. But they would look at it and they would recognize that it was a face.
Yes.
If Dave was too embarrassed to draw a face right now because he wasn't an artist, right? If he knew that he couldn't go into the great detail and draw the individual hairs in the eyebrows and the chiseled definition of the chin and all of that, if he knew that he wasn't capable of that and therefore wasn't going to draw it, he was going to go in and learn it could take him months to come back and draw a face. But reality is 99% of people recognize that as a face. They know it is. There's no challenge there. So for Dave, if he didn't draw that right now and show us, we couldn't go, yep, that's Dave's product. He's drawn a face, so we know it's a face. We know it's a product. We know it's there. Good work, Dave. Here is your $5, right? You've delivered me with the product that I wanted because I wanted a picture of a face. He can now go away and refine that face and grow that face and get better at doing the face. And in time, he'll have a better product. But if he hadn't started now, if he hadn't done it now, he's just procrastinating on knowing what he's doing. This is that lean startup, that bootstrap method of starting with something, refining it, growing it, refining it, until the point where you have an even better concept. But in that time, you've gone through the failures, so you've learned a lot. Look at that. There is now a nose and ears. Oh, he's still going. Now, the point here is that in 10 seconds, he went from having one product to another product. The second product was already a step up on the first because he'd recognized what the failures were. So this is such a really easy concept of being able to just sit there and go, I'm going to draw a face. That is version 3.0 of Dave's face. He's got hair, he's got a mouth. We're already going down this pathway of going different iterations. We know what the customer wants. We know what they don't want. He's seen the failure and he's grown from there. And on that note, he now also has sideburns. So there you go. Dave's now designed 4 different products going from step 1, not great. Step 2, better. Step 3, better. Step 4, a bit more hairy. He's refined the product. He's recognized what the failures were along the way. And he's now got that final product. If he had waited until he knew how to draw number 4, he wouldn't have known what the failures were from the first 3. So it wouldn't have been the same product, yet he would have wasted so much time in getting there. Draw the face, show it to someone, anyone, and say to them, what is this? If they don't say it's a face, they will say it's a face. Of course they'll say it's a face.
They will say it's a face.
How can they not say that is somebody's head? We know it's a face. We know it's a face. Everyone knows it's a face. That 2 dots, 1 mouth, a round circle, everyone recognises that as a face. You do that, you're on version 1.0. Iterate on it, version 2.0. It's all about, it's about that methodology, that the failure is the only opportunity to more intelligently begin again. So do it, start again, go. Dave, what's your tip?
All right, my tip is, it's very simple, it's very quick. So what I want people to do tomorrow when they wake up is wake up with some positive expectancy. So what do I mean by that? Well, the first thing I want you to tell yourself when you wake up tomorrow is, wow, this is going to be an awesome day. This is going to be an outrageous day. I can smell the success.
Smell the success.
Something good is going to happen today. I can see it. I can feel that something good is going to happen today. All right? Just do that. Just do that. Take you like 15 seconds and then see how your day goes. See how your day goes. And then drop a comment on the blog or on the Facebook page and tell me if something awesome happened that day.
We will profile one of the viewers in the next episode. Yes. Let's do it. Yes. That's awesome.
Yes, I love it. All right. Very, very good. Matt Kelly, this has been a great session. I hope people have got a lot out of it because, man, even I've got stuff out of it. This is so fun.
No, listen, we're really pushing forward with this. I'm excited. I really love busting those fears. Like, the only way to change your focus is to bust that fear. And people are doing that now. They're watching this. They're identifying what it is. It's not hard. It's exciting. I just want to see people make stuff happen. Let's hear about it.
It's easy and you can do it.
That's it.
So, all right, that's a wrap. That is the business for today on the Living Outrageously podcast. People want to get in touch with us. We are on Facebook. Search Living Outrageously. Where else are we, Matt Kelly?
livingoutrageously.com for the website. There you'll see everything you need to know. My personal website, mattkelly.com.au, is where I write about my random thoughts, feelings, emotions, opinions. And also get me on Twitter at Matthew Kelly.
Lovely, lovely. A reminder about the livingoutrageously.com website. And we're going to be on TiVo very, very soon. Matt Kelly, I am going to party on down when we're on TiVo because that would be a life dream realised right there. That is Living Outrageously. This has been the Living Outrageously podcast. My name's Dave Thompson. That was Matt Kelly. And remember, if you want a boring life, go sit in a cubicle.
Peace out.